So we are thankful for everyone who came to attend this most auspicious and most required ceremony as the feature of human life. Human life means to develop our love for God. That is the purpose of human life. And to perform this ceremony, which is known as Panaya Samskara, or taking the initiation vows from the representative of Krishna, the spiritual master, one begins the path back home, back to Godhead. This material world, or this world we might say, which is material, is not our home. And it's a fact, we can't stay here. We can come back life after life in various bodies, and we have done that. In 1974, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada gave a lecture before a large group of college students in one university in Germany. And he began the lecture by saying, "You don't know," and of course you could never know, but you've been through all 8 million species of life, and now you've come to the human form of life. So in one sense, congratulations. Now you can make a solution to all the problems. People are trying to make solutions to problems, but you know, it is explained in the Shastras that each time you try to apply a material solution to a material problem, it's more problematic than the problem. Because that's the way the material energy works. Every time you try to adjust it, you create another problem. Because it's not meant to be adjusted according to our understanding. It works under the guidance, strictly under the guidance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna says that in Gita. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Hetu nanukanteya jagavi pari partante. Not a blade of grass can even move a slight fraction of an inch unless their sanction is given by the Supreme Lord. That's how tightly controlled this material energy works. Now, being in a material body means that we somewhat are influenced by the effects of the material energy, but we're not material. The soul is actually the person, not the body. This body is simply what we say, a prison house for the soul. The soul is not meant to take on a material body, but somehow or other, we have one. And Prabhupada used to say many times that to have a material body is a bad bargain. If you go to shopping and you buy something you don't need and you pay too much for it at the same time, that's a bad bargain. Or you get something you don't want, that's a bad bargain. So Prabhupada said that is the nature of the material body. It's not a good. But what to do? So Prabhupada said best use of a bad bargain is to engage oneself in devotional service to the Lord. Because then the human body has meaning, it has value, and it can take us back home, back to Godhead. So human life is, in one sense, is very both rare and auspicious because it allows the soul to make all solutions to all problems. And Prabhupada would say, what are the problems? The problems are not with the politicians, the social reformers, the ecologists, and so many of the leaders within the various categories of the world say the problem is. What are problems? The problems are that you don't have to you're not meant to take birth. You're not meant to get old. You're not meant to get disease, and you're not meant to die. You're not meant to suffer pains of the body and mind. You're not meant to suffer disturbances by other living entities, and you're not meant to suffer disturbances by higher powers. But guess what? We get them. Nobody asks us for them, but you get them. Isn't that unfair? You come to the material world, and you're a nice person, and all of a sudden you have to suffer. You're thinking, what did I do? Why do I have to get old? Why do I have to, walk with a cane, can't see straight, Teeth are falling out. You got a headache, and nothing works. Everything is this constant, one feature after another in this material world. People are just trying to adjust the material energy to solve the pains and sufferings and difficulties and deficiencies and anxieties of this world. But everyone's forced to accept it. Why? Because we got a material body. But we don't have to. It's not required. That's optional. But you can choose to stay within that option. But we don't have to. So, initiation or bhakti into the path of initiation into the path of bhakti is the way to make solutions to all problems. Because then we can come to the spiritual platform and rise above the material difficulties and actually taste what we're looking for, but is not to be found in this material world, and that is unlimited happiness and freedom from all difficulties. Along with that, pure and unalloyed knowledge. It all comes. So, taking initiation there is 9 steps on the process of bhakti. Adaustratam, Sarusanga, Bhajana, Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhava, and Prema. These are the 9 stages. At first, one has a little faith. Oh, what is this devotional service? Let me see what it's like. And through that, one associates with Vaishnavas. And through that association, one develops somewhat of an attraction for the process of devotional service. Then one becomes serious and decides to take shelter of Krishna's representative, the spiritual master. And then one engages under the guidance of the spiritual master in the process of purifying the heart and awakening our natural love for Krishna. Through that, all misgivings, inauspicious things that are in our life, we call them anarthas. Anarthas means unwanted. Artha means something that's wanted. Anartha means you don't want them. These are the difficulties that come by way of our existence in this material world. They go. Gradually we start to feel steady in our practice of devotional service. We become happy, joyful, constantly feeling the pleasure of association of devotees of the Lord in the process of devotional service. Then we become attached to Krishna in a strong way. Just like sometimes a person will become attached to their wife or attached to their husband. So much so, all they can do is think about the person and think about how to serve that person. That same attachment is there within the heart of the living entity for Krishna. We become so attached to Krishna. We cannot think other than Krishna. We can't do anything but serve the Lord and serve the Lord's representatives. Then we develop real, genuine, heartfelt, emotional affection for Krishna. The heart becomes soft and tender, and then that love that we're looking for everywhere in life is actually experienced in a very wonderful way. And then when that becomes fixed and matured and reaches its perfection, just like when a mango reaches its sweetness of ultimate sweetness, then we have developed perfection. We have achieved the goal of life, pure love of God. And on that stage, there's nothing else to desire, because all desires are fulfilled, all aspirations are achieved, all goals are attained on that platform. So this is the process of bhakti. So the third stage is initiation of bhajana kriya. So we're very happy, exceedingly happy. Krishna is waiting for each and every one of us to come back home. He's there, he's patient, but he's also waiting. And there's a grand celebration. Every time a soul enters into the spiritual world, all the residents of the spiritual world come, and it's a big party. And there's kirtan, welcome, and Krishna comes and says, welcome home. And he's so happy to see you. His happiness is overwhelmingly shown by his great love that he shows to the aspiring soul when he comes back. Welcome back. I've been waiting for you. And that's what it's like. So we don't want to let Krishna wait too long. Of course, he's very patient, but still he's eager for us to come back to Godhead. Because he knows. It's like a parent knows that what's good for the child. Although the child may not always know what's best for themselves, the parent does. And therefore the parent guides, instructs, and even corrects the child when it's necessary to bring that child back to where it's supposed to be. So in the same way, Krishna is using his various energies to help us reawaken that desire to come back to him. As soon as we have that desire, and we act on that desire, practically, it's just a matter of time before the fulfillment of that desire comes. But first we have to have the desire. So the spiritual master is here to help us develop that desire. To help us understand what is our real success in life. So we are extremely happy to welcome these two candidates, Jigar and Yogesh, into the path of bhakti, the path of pure unalloyed devotional service, the path that is governed by the mercy of Srimati Radharani directly. She is Bhakti Devi. She governs the path of pure devotional service. From another angle, from the side of the aspiring candidates, what does it mean to accept initiation? It means, first of all, we have to understand our good fortune. Prabhupada would give the example. There's a big ocean, huge ocean, and somewhere in the ocean there's a log. And in the log there's a hole. Now the log is floating in this huge, gigantic ocean, and somewhere in the ocean there's a frog. And the frog is swimming, and he decides to surface. And somehow, on his first attempt to surface, he comes up through that hole in that log. Prabhupada said that is how rare it is to come to the path of pure bhakti. That was Prabhupada's example. So it's not a small thing to actually come to the path of pure devotional service, because this is what we've been looking for millions of lifetimes. And now when we come, we should understand it's like having great wealth. Now what you do with it. There's people who are misers. They have money, but they don't, because they have that mentality of selfishness and not understanding the value of something, they'll misuse the wealth or misspend the wealth or not spend the wealth. And therefore, although they have something wonderful, they can't take advantage of it. That's most unfortunate. When you don't have something wonderful, then in one sense, you're unfortunate, but not as unfortunate as one who has it and doesn't use it. That's even more unfortunate. So coming to the path of bhakti means to appreciate the opportunity to make a solution to all and to use everything, our intelligence, our mind, our senses, our energy, and our life itself in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's what it means to accept initiation. Not that I'm initiated and, I can still, play with the material energy and try to find what we say, do the same thing I'm doing. Now I have a name, now I have a guru, I give the guru a donation once in a while just to keep him happy, and I go on and do the same thing. That's not initiation, that is something else. Real initiation means Yasya Devi Parabhaktir Yata Devi Tata Guru Tasyaita Pratite Kartan Prakasanatman Mahatmanaha. What is this verse? It's from, who knows where this verse is from? Which scriptures? I'm testing you. Huh? Where's the scholars here? Yasya Devi Parabhaktir Yata Sweta Swatara Upanishads 6.8, and it says, one who has implicit faith, doesn't say faith, implicit faith in both the spiritual master and the Lord, all, not some, all of the imports of all Vedic knowledge become revealed within the heart of that devotee. In other words, you can study all scriptures and you can even memorize them, but unless you have faith in Guru and Krishna and execute their instructions, your knowledge is useless and it can't save you. But even if you don't know all scriptures, even if you can't even quote scripture, if you have faith in Guru and Krishna and execute their orders to the best of your ability, you're the greatest learned scholar. You're the greatest learned scholar. Because bhakti is faith. It really begins, progresses, and culminates in faith. And believe me, your faith will be tested. Because without testing faith, you can't really get faith. Sounds logical? If you're tested, just like a person on the battlefield, if a person is in the service but never fights, can you say he's a hero? He has to actually prove himself and then be classified and given, awards and honors as a fighter or a hero who've done something. So Krishna wants to show our glories by putting us in situations where we'll have to choose between the instructions of the spiritual master and the allurements of Maya. We all get that challenge, isn't it? Right? That's the way life is. But that challenge brings out our good qualities. So, if we have faith, not faith, but firm faith, Prabhupada talks about his own life. He said, this was in 1931 or 32. Prabhupada was with his spiritual master in Calcutta. Devotees had just received, the whole Gaudiya Math had just received a beautiful building, Bagh Bazaar, donated by one very wealthy merchant, and who was also a very wonderful devotee simultaneously. And there was a snake. The snake had climbed all the way up to the second floor of the building, which was really highly unusual. And that snake caused such havoc in people's lives. Everyone was running around, snake, what to do? And so the devotees didn't know what to do. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati happened to be there. He came out and said, kill the snake. So they did. Someone took a stick and killed the snake. So what happened? Prabhupada was thinking, our spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, he was thinking, how is it a saintly person can order the killing of another living entity? Saintly persons are supposed to be compassionate and kind. They don't practice any form of violence. How is it possible? Prabhupada said, I didn't doubt my spiritual master, but I was thinking, I can't understand why he did it. So then Prabhupada later on came across this one verse in Srimad Bhagavatam from Prahlad Maharaj, where Prahlad Maharaj says, great saints and sages, sadhus, take pleasure in snakes and scorpions being killed. That's what it says. Because they're envious by nature and they attack without provocation. Of course, devotees don't do that, but in under circumstances, there's no sin. So Bhaktisiddhanta acted to protect the devotees, and there was no sin on his part. In fact, he gave the best instruction. But Prabhupada didn't understand it at first. And later he said, I didn't have any doubt because I had faith, but at the same time I couldn't understand. But later he understood. So it's like that. We may be faced with difficulties. We may be faced with challenges. We will be. But what carries us through and what makes everything successful is we always remember the instructions of the spiritual master. Because those instructions are actually our ticket back home, back to Godhead. It's not different. So that's what it means to take initiation, to have faith in both the spiritual master and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like that. And the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives his instructions through his representative, the spiritual master, and through the scriptures, both. And in different ways. The Lord relates to us. So when we have that faith, that is what we say non-different than being back home, back to Godhead, just by that faith. So that's the requirement for success on the path of devotional service. So congratulations to all the candidates for seeing the importance of initiation. I just want to say one other thing. People misunderstand this idea of initiation. Sometimes people say, well, give me a name, give me initiation. I want to be part of the program, I want to be a member of the organization, right? And so I can have a card with my name on says I'm initiated, right? Card carrying, personality. But it's not like that. It's a really serious thing. I never usually say this at initiations, but I just feel like saying it today. And Prabhupada said, to break your vows or to not follow your vows, it's better to commit suicide. Now, don't do it. But he says that's how serious the vows are. Of course, we don't recommend anyone to follow that. But he was saying that's how serious it is to take these initiation vows, that we would rather give up our life than give up our commitment. Because we take our vows before the fire, which is non-different than Krishna, before the deities, before the assembled devotees, the Vaishnavas, before the spiritual master. All the acharyas are here. Everyone, the entire spiritual entourage is here to witness initiation. So it's not a small thing. It's not a small thing. I'm speaking to those of you who are already initiated, so we can understand how important it is to be very much serious in the path of devotional service, because that seriousness is success. Of course, devotional service is joyful, but if you want to make it joyful, you got to be serious. Then it becomes joyful. The more serious you are, the more fun it is, to put it in a very simple way. And that's the way it is, because happiness comes in our relationship with Krishna. There's only one form of happiness, and that is our connection with our Supreme Personality of Godhead through devotional service. So thank you all for coming, and please, all of you here, give your blessings, your best wishes, your whatever else you can give in a very, what we say, Krishna conscious way to the two candidates who are about to embark on the path of devotional service. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Gokulananda ki jai, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai, Sri Sri Gaurnitai ki jai, Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.
Hare Krishna. So, first of all, I would just like to welcome all the senior devotees here today at Bhaktivedanta Mana. His Holiness Sri Radharaman Maharaj. Viva!
Sri Radharaman Ji ki jai.
Also, we have Temple President from Soho Street, Jai Nitai Prabhu. Viva! We also have ISKCON Director Vishramba Prabhu, Haribo! And also we have Gauri Prabhu here with us today. Haribo! So I'll just explain the procedure now for all the devotees who are here. We'll request Jigar and Yogesh one by one to go up, pay obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, and then come and pay obeisances to Radha Gokulananda, and then pay obeisances to His Holiness Candramauli Maharaj. And then we'll be asked to say the vows on the mic to everyone. And then His Holiness Candramauli Maharaj will give you the spiritual names. So I'd like to request Jigar Prabhu to go up first. Pay obeisances to Prabhupada and Maharaj. Maybe we can have some kirtans while he's paying obeisances. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. What are the four regulative principles?
No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex.
And you agree to chant at least 16 rounds every day on beads of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra?
Yes, Maharaj.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. At least. Not minimum.
At least.
That's sometimes we say 16 rounds maximum. No. 16 rounds minimum. Okay. Well, I'm very much inspired by his devotional service over the last year and a half. He's been in India and working under the guidance of the devotees in Chaupati. He's been on the farm milking cows and doing other farm-related services. And all the devotees, especially the leaders there, have really say that they're so happy that he came. They tell me that they're always a little cautious about allowing people from Western countries to come there and train, because they see sometimes they're not so serious and they're not so committed, because it's austere there. It's very, what we say, high quality service and surrender. But since he came there, they said, we have faith now that we're not so much concerned about people coming, because he has established such a high quality of devotion his attitude is so nice. Everyone loves him. He's so friendly with everybody, and he's so much, loved by everyone. He does his service so nicely, so expertly, and he's very humble. So when I heard these reports, I was thinking, wow, Krishna sent me a nice devotee. Usually all my disciples are so fallen. But I got one that's a little qualified. It's not an exaggeration either. It's very qualified. But don't please forget what I just said. Could cut that out of the tape. Today, or not, we might say, very soon is the Ram Vijay Hotsava. So it's kind of the month of Ram. It's the celebration coming up in about a week, I think, of Ram's victory over Ravana. Today is also an auspicious calendar day. It's 10-10-10. Right? For those of you who like these things. It's 10-10, so it's auspicious in that way also. So in keeping with the mood of Ram Leela, we have given you a name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Ram. He is the Lord of Sita. So another name for him is Janakinath.
Janakinath Prabhu ki jai.
That keeps him connected to Bhaktivedanta manner too.
Very well. So we'd just like to request Satyakishore Prabhu, who's been working with Jiga Prabhu now for the last 4 years, just to say a few words about him.
Okay, I'll try and keep it short. There's a lot to say about Janakinath. Now I have to get used to that. But I think many devotees here are very happy that he's took this next step. I think to many here in the crowd, he's very dear to us. And it's a great example of a wonderful transformation. Going back a little while, I think maybe at least 4 years ago, I think I met Jiga for the first time at King's College, a Krishna Consciousness Society program. And he's always been a little different. Even amongst the devotees, he's different. And he kind of came across as a very wacky character. I remember he was into this wacky type of music and wacky type of movies. And I wasn't so sure.
That's because I used to be into that too. So we like father, like son.
But through the association of the devotees, he became more and more serious. And somehow or other, I personally think by his own inspiration and the persuasion of a few other brahmacharis, he decided to join the temple and join the ashram. And in the ashram, again, he became very dear to the devotees. He has this incredible quality that he always wants to serve devotees. And his service is, there's no other motive other than that he wants to please the devotees. And that's why also when he went to Chapati, he won the hearts of the devotees there. And Jiga also, I should say Janakinath Das, now he has this very kind of like childlike nature. Very innocent and very non-envious. And you see that devotees, when they see him, they want to hug him, embrace him, touch his face and cheeks. So,
I hope it's only the male devotees.
At least what I've observed. Much.
The ladies can do it in their heart, but
So like this, he's become very dear to the devotees, and then he thought to take the next step, he would go to Chapati, and his reputation preceded him, and unfortunately that meant because he has many good qualities, but he had certain habits as well. And so the devotees in Chapati were a little cautious about letting him come there. And then it took a lot of convincing, and finally the authorities there relented, and he went to Chapati. And it's quite amazing the reports we were getting back, because I think, how many devotees won a BT program? Maybe 30? 30? And, you know, they went, the people that won that program went bums off the street. They were professionals, graduates some from IIT. And we heard that he was top of the class. And it's quite an incredible achievement. And we were thinking, is this the same Janakinath Das? But it was.
No, it's not.
And one thing I've noticed is that he has this quality to surprise us. You know, we may have certain expectations of him, but he far surpasses our expectations. And so I really feel from my heart that he has an incredible future, and he's going to surprise us many more times. And as Marge was stating so wonderfully, that initiation is the beginning. And you know, now I have greater expectations for him. But he's always saying to me, no, don't be silly, I'm still the same old, you know, jigger. But now we actually know that he's not his Janakinath Das, and definitely has a great future. And I hope somehow or other we can serve together, continue to serve together. Janakinath Das Ki Jai.
So now we'd like to request Yogesh Prabhu, if you can come up and pay obeisances. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
What are the 4 regulative principles?
No eating meat, no illicit sex, no intoxication, and no gambling.
Fish too?
No eating meat, fish, or eggs.
Eggs. And coffee?
No coffee.
No tea?
No tea.
It's a rough movement. Okay, you promise?
I promise.
Okay. And you agree to chant at least 16 rounds on beads every day without fail?
I agree.
For the rest of your life?
For the rest of my life.
Wonderful. Staying with the mood of Ram Leela, is one beautiful pastime where Ram, he wanted to get across the ocean. Sita was discovered to be in Lanka, and the battle was about to begin. The soldiers were lined up, but they had to cross the ocean, and they had all these monkeys. Some of them couldn't make it, so they had to build a bridge. So Ram, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he's good in all arts. So he not only designed the bridge, but he built it with rocks. So we might say that Ram is somewhat of an architect. So, of course, we know that Yogesh Prabhu, his service in the last few years has done architectural work for the society. And he's just been part of a beautiful, successful completion of the temple in Soho. Right? Beautiful. The altar is so expanded so nicely, and Jagannath is smiling more than he ever was. So he has great skills in the area of architect, so we want to give him a name that complements the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Ram. So one of Ram's names is, he is a member of the Raghava dynasty, so his name is Raghupati. So we give you the name Raghupati Raghava.
Raghupati Raghava Prabhu ki jai. So we'd like to request Janitai Prabhu.
His grandfather is here. Welcome. Thank you.
Viva.
Any of the other family members here? Mother? Oh, okay. You like the name? Good, thank you. Thank you very much. I met your grandfather's there, yeah. I also met your auntie. She was the other day. Oh, there. Haribol. Nice to see you again. Thank you. Thank you for all joining. Also, Janaki Nath's parents are here. Oh, okay. Hare Krishna. It is said that if the parents raise the child to become a devotee, then their life or their role as a parent is not only successful, it has reached the perfection of success. To bring a soul into this world and to bring him to devotional service means they have achieved the perfection of parenthood. Thank you very much.
So I'd like to request His Grace Janitai Prabhu to say a few words.
Hare Krishna. Raghupati Raghava Prabhu.
You can just call him Raghupati for short.
Raghupati. Raga. So just really wanted to say a couple of things, Maharaj.
Yeah.
It was good that he mentioned about Raghupati's Prabhu's parents are here, coming from a family of devotees, Vaishnavas, taking very auspicious birth. I was hearing so many wonderful things about his grandfather recently, speaking with Keshavarti Maharaj, who was remembering him very kindly. And I know that his family is very dear to many Vaishnavas and devotees. It's a very auspicious and wonderful occasion that Raghupati Prabhu has come to the platform of taking initiation from also such a wonderful spiritual master and glorious servant of Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. My experiences with Raghupati Prabhu are always so pleasant. He has a very calm and peaceful, soothing nature. It seems that he never gets frustrated or upset or rises to any anxiety, even though he may express it. But even he expresses it in such a calm way that you think, oh, he must.
Yeah, I had to work on that.
Yeah. so now
it took me a while, but now he's calm.
And his interactions with the devotees always so amiable, so pleasing. I'm sure those devotees who know him that Raghupati is always, Prabhu is always ready to lend a hand, ready to help in whatever way he can.
recently, as Marge mentioned, with the completion of the new altar and for their lordships, Shri Radhalandanishwar, Jagannath Baladev, Subhadra, that I know Anantacharya Prabhu, who was working tirelessly on this project, he was saying that any time of night, sometimes he would wake up in anxiety thinking about the altar, and he would just call Raghupati Prabhu at any time and just say, but what about this? What about that? Could this possibly be? And Raghupati Prabhu was always there, ready to give his support and his share his wealth of knowledge in order to complete this project. So he's a very wonderful devotee, and recently we started some meetings of different region of the southeast, trying to bring together devotees from Brighton and Crawley, South London and Central London. And Raghupati Prabhu has been one of the prominent members of that team and that committee, always coming and giving his input and working very hard to help to establish a nice group of devotees, especially in the Croydon area. Very influential, very inspiring to many. So it's a great honor to be here with him on this special occasion. Mm-hmm. And I hope that I continue to get the opportunity to remain in his service for many years to come. Raghupati Raghava Prabhu Ki Jai.
Yeah, I just want to add, if you want to meet a nice person, he's a nice person. He's really nice. I really appreciate his very sweet and simple and humble demeanor. He's always very eager to serve, and he's always not really putting himself, although he has so many wonderful talents, he has a lot of good talents, he keeps them hidden. He doesn't really show it. He's very, in that way, he's very, very free from all kind of pretense. So that is a wonderful Vaishnava quality. Hare Krishna. Okay. But forget this part also.